Okay, we are in part 2 of our logo series. And if you remember in the last video, we were talking about how to make a logo on Canva. So I'm going to pick it up there and then I'm going to switch to AI. So the second part of your assignment is to make some logos with AI and then to compare how your logos come out with AI versus how they were coming out when you were designing with Canva and just using pre-designed templates. So I'm going to go back to design and I just want to show you there is a little AI feature here that I didn't show in the last video called Generate Design. So if I wanted to, I could use the AI feature here and I could do a little description of what I wanted to create up here and then I could see what Canva develops for me. I'm going to ignore that today because I feel like as students in your generation with AI just up and coming and starting to kind of take over a lot of how we do things, I think you're going to need to learn to use AI on multiple platforms. So we're going to leave the Canva platform for now. And I'm just going to go up to the top here of my screen and I'm going to hit a new tab. And you should have access to some type of AI at home. I know a lot of kids are using ChatGPT, and then with Google, that platform allows for something called Gemini. So as a staff member here at school, my free Google account, if I go over to the waffle here on the right-hand side and I click that, it has Gemini. So it has an AI feature here that staff can use. I'm hearing that students are blocked from this, especially on your district devices, because the district doesn't really want you using AI to cheat everything. So I don't think you're going to be able to access Gemini from your district account. You might have to use a different computer. Um, if you have a personal desktop at home or a different laptop, you could try it there. If you're allowed to use ChatGPT on your district devices, you could try ChatGPT. The only problem that I have with ChatGPT is that in general, that company only allows you to do a few images and then it blocks you. So images in particular, it gets a little stingy on, whereas Gemini, I've found that I can do as much as I want. And with Gemini, I typically have a little bit more refinement freedom. So I'm appreciating Gemini a whole lot more than ChatGPT as I learn to navigate AI and use it for my work. If you only have a laptop device at home and that's all that you're using, you might want to consider going back to Canva and just using the AI tool that I just showed you there. So let me bring up logo again. I'm just clicking on a logo so it brings back up the toolbar. So if I go to design here, I could go ahead and just put the description there and then say generate design. So if you have the option to use ChatGPT, Gemini, or some other AI platform for image development, try it. If not, go back and use this one and see what you get. I'm going to use Gemini here today. Again, I prefer it over ChatGPT. I'm starting to do a lot of things on Gemini. And what I want to do, and one of the things you're going to have to learn with using AI, because it's not a person, it's going to be very helpful for you, but you're going to have to learn, especially when we're designing on it, to use refinement language. So it's tricky, which is why I kind of want you to start getting used to it, because I want for you to be able to play around with how to let the computer help you, but also refine. So I'm going to start, just like in the last video, I'm going to use my initials. I'm going to tell the computer, design a logo using my initials A and P. I'm partly doing that just to see if it gives me a capital A and a capital P. I can refine later and tell it to give me lowercase letters if I want, but right now I just kind of want to see what it does. So I'm going to say design a logo using my initials A and P. And I'm going to tell it who I am. I'm going to say I am an artist. And I used the name Arts Sensei. Please use a paint brush as a symbol in the design. Okay, so the reason I'm putting Art Sensei here is because I want to see if it actually uses my company name in the design. It might not, but because this is very Asian, the word sensei means teacher in Japanese, and the computer's going to know that. So it might actually make my font styles look a little Asian. We'll see what it does. So hopefully it'll put my A and P initials there. Hopefully it'll put Art Sensei. If it doesn't, I'm not going to be too disappointed, but I want to see what style it comes up with, and I definitely want to see what it does with the paintbrush. So let's see. I'm going to hit enter and see what it does. Okay. Here we go with the circle again. See, I told you guys in the last video, circles are very common and they're sometimes overused. So what the computer's doing is it's looking at probably a gazillion logos out in the internet universe and seeing a lot of them use circles, and so it's using the circle. I like several things about this. You can already see that I didn't refine enough. I did not tell the computer to give me a black and white logo. So I'm going to do that a little bit later. One of the things I'm not liking about this is I can't see the A and the P very clearly underneath the paintbrush. So it's like the paintbrush is way over the top of the letter P, and then it put a heart in here. So I'm not really, the heart throws off the communication of the design for me. I do like that it put Art Sensei down here in two different font colors. That's nice contrast. So I'm not happy with it, actually. I'm going to tell it, I could refine it. I could just ask it to move the paintbrush off of the top of the P and get rid of the heart. But I might want to redo it because I'm just not real happy with it overall. So I'm just going to say, let's try refining. I'm going to say, move the paint brush off of the letter P. And again, I have to be very specific. And also remove the heart. Let's see what it does. So it's telling me that it's adjusting. Okay, so this is where we get into a little bit of a problem with AI. With AI, you have a little bit less control. Now, some days I hit AI on a good day and I type in fonts similar to what I'm doing today and I get all kinds of rockin' things. And I'm like, that doesn't need too much refining. For whatever reason, today I'm not getting the best design and it's a little bit confused. So it did take out the heart, but it really didn't move. I'll scroll up and see. I don't really think it moved the paintbrush that much. Yeah, it didn't. And sometimes it happens. It's like the computer program gets stuck a little. So I'm just going to say use the first design prompt and try again. Now, I have in the past tried to have it redesign and sometimes it gets stuck. And so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go back to my original prompt and I'll just kind of scroll over it, copy and paste it, and I'll close out, reopen, and start again fresh with like a new Gemini page. But let's see if it does do what I'm asking it to do. And it's telling me, okay, understood. Let's go back to the original concept. Okay, so at this point, it's stuck. It's not going to do what I think it should be doing. And it's really stuck on this paintbrush being right in this area, and it's really stuck on this heart stuff, which I don't want. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna look at what I wrote here. Design a logo using my initials A and P. I'm an artist and I use the name Art Sensei. Please use a paintbrush as a symbol in the design. I'm gonna cut and paste this. I'm gonna say Control C, open a new prompt. I'm gonna say use everything I've mentioned here to design a logo that has style. I can also refine a little bit more because I am an art teacher and I know the elements and principles of art very well. So I could ask it to use emphasis. I could ask it to use more positive and negative space. I could ask it to use more overlap or less overlap. Um, so it's nice to know these elements and principles because you can actually help it with the refinement when you're working on AI. Use everything I've mentioned here to design a logo that has style, contrast, and emphasis. Let's try this a little bit. Oh, I feel like that's much better. It still got stuck on the same color choices, which is interesting to me. And again, a circle. It's really loving the circle. I think, though, this time it gave me a little bit more of a Asian style. I feel like this is looking a little bit more Asian-ish, so it kind of matches the wording here. I'm also, in an odd way, this looks like a little mustache, but I think it was trying to I think it was trying to make a font that matched like a paintbrush stroke. So I'm okay with that. I'm not okay still with the paintbrush overlapping on top of the letter P, and I don't know if I ask it to fix it, if it's going to fix it, because last time it didn't. So I could, let me try. Let me see if I have better luck this time with refinement. I'm going to say move the paint brush so it is not overlapping the letters. I also noticed that a lot of times I'm a horrible typist. I generally have pretty decent spelling, but I mistype a lot. And that doesn't seem to matter too much with AI because it does a really good job of just correcting your spelling and grammar and stuff. So it kind of makes sense out of your misspellings at times. So if you're a really bad typist or speller, I wouldn't worry too much. I think it'll probably tell you if it was overly confused. Okay. Okay, so it gave me balance. It didn't give me emphasis, but it says overall design and balance. So let me try refining again. Let me say I like the font style, but the paintbrush is taking too much space in the center of the logo. And I'm going to say, please design again using asymmetrical balance. Because it gave me a symmetry, which is fine, but let's go asymmetrical this time. Giving me an asymmetrical balance balanced image without a circle. Let's see how it reads what I'm asking it to do this time. One of the things, again, just depending on the kind of AI day you have, oh, that's much better. It's still right smack in the middle. I don't know why the AI program just is really insisting on keeping that paintbrush overlapping the fonts. But it's a little bit better because at least you can kind of tell it's a P, whereas before you couldn't. So I'm not having the best AI day with my logo. Again, I've had better days where I've done this exact same prompt and I get better results. One of the things that I notice about AI is it's a little bit slower because I have to keep relying on the computer to make sense of what I'm asking it to do when I'm doing it myself. Like if I were on Canva right now, I probably, with the amount of time I've spent asking it to refine the image, I probably could have spent that amount of time making 5 logos because it's so quick for me to do it on Canva. Now, I'm sure that AI will get better with time, but I do want you to start to learn to use it because, again, it's part of your generation. And, it does have some fun things. One of the things I really like about this is that it would be really hard for me to find the kind of font style it gave me. This swoopy paintbrush font style and then the combination of color choices here, that would have taken me some substantial work. So that was a little fast. But, overall, am I as pleased with what I did here compared to what I did on Canva? I'm not at this time. I'm going to go ahead and ask it really to convert this to black and white. We'll see. Oh, well, you know what? Let me try this first. Since our school colors are purple and green, I'm just going to ask it to do a purple and green one first, and then I'll convert it to black and white. I'm going to say, now change the color scheme to purples and greens. Okay, that's more school related. So one of the things that's a little bit challenging I've noticed with AI, it's very picky on letting you download things that you make. It says share and export, copy response, more. If I click on the ice cream scoop 3 dots here, it really doesn't give me an an option to just download it. So what I'm going to do, and what you'll have to do to turn your stuff in, is do a screenshot. So I'm at home on my Mac at this point, so I'm not going to use the same Windows screenshot function. For a Mac, it's Command Shift 3 or 5. I'm going to go Command Shift 5. It's going to give me a box, and then I can just go ahead and scrunch a square around my logo, capture it. And now that I've done that, so I have a color version, I'm going to say now change the design to black and white only. Sometimes it takes it a little bit of extra time. Yeah, actually, I like that better than the color version. It gave me a little bit of a shadow down here, which is fun. So I'm going to say Control or Shift Command 5 on a Mac. Screenshot it. Let's see. Let's just play around. Let's just be fun for a minute. I'm going to say change the design and make it more Asian looking. Let's see if it changes like the font style or it is trying to be culturally sensitive because it did say, okay, here's a design that aims for a distinct Asian aesthetic. So I said design, I said Asian looking, and it turned it into Asian aesthetic, which is a much better way of phrasing that. So I appreciate that comment. It changed the font style down here. I don't think it really did anything with the image. It did make a brush that looks more like a Japanese brush for script for calligraphy writing. But it gets stuck. See, it's still just really stuck on leaving things just the same. If I said do a redesign and make the, well, I'm going to say, and use an art easel and paintbrush as the symbol. Let's see what it does. And now it's telling me it's going to aim for a balanced composition, which earlier I said, please give it asymmetry. So it's probably going to revert back to symmetry. Okay, yeah. So now it's not doing anything I need it to do because it's just plunking the easel right on top of the A. So I would say the black and white version that I had, the purple version's pretty good, and then the black and white version is pretty decent. But this is not something I would use for a company. I would have to completely keep working with the design process to get it the way that I want by refining with Gemini. One of the things I was saying earlier that I like about Gemini, though, is that with ChatGPT, it probably would have cut me off already and said, your image limit is over. With ChatGPT, or with Gemini, I could just sit here and do this all night, and I could get 100 of these if I wanted. So have fun designing your image with AI. See what you come up with. I'm anxious to see myself what your designs look like. And I'm anxious to hear when you do your art reflective writing on your turn-in document. I'm anxious to hear how you felt about designing on AI versus using Canva and having a little bit more control yourself. So good luck designing, and I'll see you in the grading platform.